And good afternoon, and welcome to this clash this afternoon from Gungahlin Oval. In pretty good conditions between the Gungahlin Bulls and the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Both sides are about to make their way out. Referees in the centre of the ground, and the sun shining brightly. That shadow from the grandstand will creep across the northern end of the southern end of the ground as the afternoon gets a little bit later. But at the moment, the ground are mainly in sunshine. There's very little breeze to speak of, so there'll be no wind assistance to either side. Now, I have the official Tuggeranong Bushrangers team. It is 1 Tristan Eldridge, 2 Connor Mason, 3 Narima Lowe, 4 Michael Melvini, 5 is Jaden Pollard, 6 Wesley Alexander, 7 will be Michael Brophy, and 8 Jaden Thomas. 9 is Josh Mitchell, and 10 Jacob McGrath, 11 Nathan Smith, 12 is out Jared Kennedy with, I believe, a hamstring injury. So we'll pick up his replacement in a moment. 13 is Josh Baker, 15 Brent Neal, 16 Matthew Dragosick, 17 Jordan Martin, 18 is Ben Nanisa, and 19 Jerry Lotoa comes onto the bench to replace Jared Kennedy. Now the Bulls, the Gungahlin Bulls, I have not received an official team sheet as yet. So we'll just see how we go. Interesting that David Howe, their coach, is playing at 5'8". Now we have a number 20 going onto the field. No name for number 20 as yet. So as earlier programmed, a lot of the Bulls players, I guess, will be intact, but any changes I'm hoping to receive shortly. Gungahlin Oval presented into very good condition once again. Tuggeranong Bushrangers come into this match as the favourites. They come into the match as the favourites, leading the competition and having a terrific season. The Bulls with a couple of wins under their belts, but they'd love to cause a ball over here. They have caused a couple of ball overs, knocking over top 4 sides earlier in the year. So the Bushrangers now come onto the field. Oh, we've got a few hundred people here to watch this game in good sunshine. Most people trying to take advantage of the sun. And it looks like it will be the Gungahlin Bulls to kick off. Again, just to have possibly a few players in this Bulls side that are going to be nameless to me unless we get a sheet shortly. So the Bulls to kick off through Blake Robinson, their hooker. And the referee blows his whistle, and in great conditions, a good kick from Robinson, goes down towards the try line. It was taken by Eldridge, and he's just moved it onto his forward, Jacob McGrath, to take the first run up. And he made it out about 12 metres. So it is the Bushrangers with the ball for the first play of the afternoon. They'll move it across field. Wesley Alexander linked up with Nathan Smith, and they forge their way towards halfway. Ball comes back to Thomas. Jaden Thomas has managed to be brought down about 9 short of the halfway. So good defensive set from the Bulls. The kick on the last is deep. Goes down to Brendan Dunn. Dunn goes back in field. And he's taken about 20 metres out from his own line. First use of the ball. Now Tom Sherd goes into dummy half and links up with a man on his outside. And that was Vatata Dewaki. Was met in a good tackle. So the Bulls, they make it out just over their 20. They're under a little bit of pressure. Hately will take a run to the left of the ruck. One out stuffed this first set from the Bulls. Still 20 shy of halfway. So good defence, the Bushrangers. Now up the centre go the Bulls. That kick is not a good one on the last tackle, although with a bit of luck it came back to the Bulls, and then they couldn't clean it up, and the Bushrangers go straight onto the attack, take play over halfway, and that's through their winger in Pollard. They'll surge up the centre. They're in great field position now to put something on early in this match after that mistake from the Bulls. Playing the ball 17 was Martin. They push it down the right-hand side. Getting up to play at McGrath. They go back across the park, and there's a long ball out to the centre. That's low. Lowe's met in a good tackle. He's brought down about 9 short of the line. So they're drawing closer. A one-out run from dummy half didn't produce anything from Alexander. They'll come across with a little chip kick, and now the Bulls under pressure, but the ball beats all the players, goes over the dead ball line. So that's a good result for the Bulls. That kick just had too much weight on it, and the Bulls will come out 20 metres. Lines absolutely everywhere, and that's because the field is marked out for soccer. Gee, now there's a line drop out. That's found touch. You don't see that tactic very often, but it's made 60-odd metres, and the Bulls will get the ball 20 metres out from the Bushrangers line. So a big chance for the Bulls early in the match. Raston goes up the centre. Forces hard. It's about 10 metres out. Played back for Robinson. He swings it away to the right. So they're surging at the line. Robinson again pushes it away to the right to 20. Was crunched after he passed it, but the pass was okay. Big fellow comes back in field, only a half metre short. So it's a good chance for the Bulls. I'll go away to the right in 20, and 20 throws the dummy and will score. Number 20 scores. And my apologies again, because still haven't received the official list from the Gungahlin Bulls, so I don't. Number 20. So it was a good dummy to his right, and he scores the opening try of the game. So 4-0, Gungahlin Bulls over the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. 4 minutes of play we've had, and that was on the back of that outstanding 20-metre drop kick, which found touch the 20-metre line on the other end of the field. That gave the Bulls the field position, and they kept pushing it to the right. Blake Robinson's the dummy half for the Bulls. He had about 2 or 3 plays of pushing it to the right. That's the way they wanted to go. And they finally come up with a try. And you know that the try is always going to be scored by the player who I don't know who it is, number 20. But it was good play from him. They are chasing up that official list for me. Must have gone the wrong way with it. So the conversion unsuccessful, but the Gungahlin Bulls, who are the outsiders in this match, have come up with the opening try, and that will give them some confidence. A great start. The Bushrangers really caught out by that 20-metre punt kick. Drop out. Now we've got the team sheet coming. And as we get the kick off, and it's found touch about 6 metres out from the Bulls line. So the Bulls, unfortunately, let that one go over the sideline. So after some good play, they're going to have to pack a scrum, and the Bushrangers will get the feed. Oh, is it? Hang on, I'll give you a sheet. Just write it fairly big, because I don't have to use my glasses. Thanks, champ. You want my tester? just trying to get organised, trying to get a team sheet on the Gungahlin Bulls. In the meanwhile, back to the game now, and it's the Bushrangers. The Bushrangers who have the ball, and he's gone into touch on that far side. There's a lot of changes apparently to the Bulls team, so hopefully we will get them shortly. So good defence over there from the Bulls. They've forced the Bushrangers into touch. And they've held on because they were going to be under pressure. And there's a poor pass from the Bulls, but they've managed to not knock on and tidy up. But they're only metres out from their own line, so they've got a bit of work to do now. And the Bushrangers are keen. They're charging up in defence. Robinson. And he works it away. I think that's Willie Raston with the ball. About 22 metres out from his own line. Push it through Hately. Goes on to 20. He throws the ball out the back, and cleaning up was Luke Skidmore. The referee has called a halt to play. He's getting some instructions from his linesman. Now the linesman has walked onto the field to have a discussion with the referee. We're waiting on a decision. There was a knock on. Came from the Bushrangers. The Gungahlin Bulls will get this scrum feed. They're about 25 metres out from their own line. That's the Bulls with the ball. I think that could be Brendan Dunn. Excuse me if I'm getting the names wrong. I'm still waiting on that official sheet. Now Robinson races into dummy half. They're 9 short of halfway, the Bulls. They'll work it back to the right-hand side. One out stuff. They've gone that time again done through Varawaki. They'll keep moving it. Hately to 20. And into the big fellow, Skidmore. Skidmore has gone 10 metres over halfway, so the Bulls are now starting to roll it down the field. There's the kick from number 20. And, Eldridge, has he knocked that on? No. Referee says knock back. So Tristan Eldridge goes across field where he's tackled about 5 metres out from his own line. Back inside goes Connor Mason. Going across field, but he does great work. He beat a number of players, linked up with his other winger, Pollard. And Pollard's got speed to burn. He's getting through players. Oh, he got a ball back inside that has gone to ground. Gee, wonderful play, but it breaks down at the last moment. I think it was Elmo Vini. Just couldn't bring that one in. It was out in front of him. He reached forward, just couldn't bring it in. But it was spectacular stuff. An incredible Connor Mason's run across field that the Bulls didn't get up and close that down, and it almost proved very costly. Now Robinson bringing one of the Bulls forwards back on his inside. I'll work it down this blind side. That was Howe playing the ball. Goes across through Hately. So the Bulls working themselves into good territory, and there's a little kick through, and it will find touch. So a scrum will pack down 10 metres out. So a scrum will pack, and the Bushrangers will get the scrum feed. So we've got the Gungahlin Bull teams now. In fact, David Howell is playing in 20, so there's been changes of numbers from the team named a few days ago. So no wonder he showed those silky skills, the former Raider player. Have a bit of age about him now. Great to see him out helping out his young team. So in 6, in fact, is Jaden Grocott. So we've had a fair few changes, and I'll just get a chance shortly to look through them. Now racing back, Todd Sherd from the Gungahlin Bulls. And he takes the ball, but he's met in a good tackle by Connor Mason. Mason goes in again to make another good tackle, so he's had a big start to the game, Mason. That tackle then was on Dean Aylott. And the Bulls struggling now to find halfway. Now, 9 is Blake Robinson. He moves it away to his right-hand side. And the winger over there, Jean Pio, was tackled. Continue to try and probe through Skidmore. He gets a quick play the ball in, and Hately gives it away to Howell. Howell kicks it downfield. I think he's looking for the touchline. And it's scooped up by the winger over on that far side in Pollard. And Pollard will play it about 20 metres out from his own line. Again, it's hard to pick up the exact meterage with the field marked out for soccer as well as rugby league, so we've got lines crisscrossing everywhere. Now pushing it up is Jaden Thomas. In fact, it was the winger. Again, Pollard's got in for some more work. Now Nathan Smith. He's almost to halfway. Bushrangers with it. The score at the moment, the Bulls leading by 4 points to 0. Kick down that far side. See the Gungahlin Bulls winger clean up over there. And I'll just keep working it back infield. Joan Pio with the run. So the Bulls with the ball, 15 short of halfway, one player down in back play. So the assistants go out there, the attendants, to check on his welfare. Ball comes back for the Bulls to kick. They go deep. Eldridge is underneath it nicely. And races the ball back up, so they'll start their set about 18 metres short of halfway, so not a bad place to start their set. And the referee has ruled timeout. There is a player from the Gungahlin Bulls receiving some treatment back down the field. So, just recapping that the Bulls have had a great start to this game. They lead by 4 points to 0. We've had about 15 minutes of play, and it's been a pretty even tussle between these two sides. Sit at opposite ends of the ladder, but the Bulls, the underdogs for the match, are certainly revved up and keen to play. So play is back underway. Just having a quick look through this new team of the Bulls that I've received. Appreciate that. Oh, there's a little mistake. The Bushrangers. A little knock on getting to his feet. So this Bull side now will be in prime position off this scrum feed to mount something. They lead 4 points to 0. 15 minutes of play gone in this first half. Great conditions here at Gungahlin Enclosed Oval. So they come away with it, the Bulls. Off the scrum feed. They're about 30 metres out in the first tackle. Play the ball. They'll work it down this side where Grocott is linking up with his his outside man there in Pettit. They go back across to Fellows. Linked up with the man on his outside. And the Bulls centre of the ground, 25 out, finding it hard to penetrate this defence. They work with Matthew Fellows down this blind side, but again, the Bushrangers defence was pretty tough. They've used about 4 tackles, a little move down the blind side and a little kick through, but nothing pays off. Well, gee, I thought, well, that was messy. Bulls come back up with the ball. Eldridge did well to clean up the kick. I thought he went into touch, but they've lost the ball and the Bulls have it only a metre out. So I'm just trying to force the way out over. They may need to give this ball a little bit of air. Robinson, long ball to Howe, but it was well out in front of him and it was a knock on. He reached out to try and bring it in, but it was too far in front of him. He did get a hand to it. The referee spot on there to rule the knock on. He still looks pretty fit, David Howe. Not sure of his age. He was a very, very handy player for the Canberra Raiders a few years back. Seems like quite a few years back now, but he looks fit and well. He is the coach of the Bulls, and he's wearing the number 20. So it's the Bushrangers off the scrum win to try and probe it up. Eldridge with a run. It's a likely customer, Eldridge, light on his feet, the fullback. Push up through Josh Baker. Baker's almost centre of the ground, 12 short of halfway. And now the kick from Josh Mitchell. And it's a good kick. It's deep, and it sends Todd Sherd scurrying back. And the chase was good. Sherd's brought down at 20 metres short of halfway. Bulls with the ball, leading by 4 points to nil at this stage. Radharadra with a run. They'll go the other side, the far side. Robinson worked it through Howell, and he was able to link up with a man on his outside. There was a bit of push and shove in that. I think that was Jacob Stewart. They keep going down that far side towards halfway. Again, 3 from the Bushrangers are in there. In the tackle, and a good strong tackle it was too. I think it could be Skidmore. That's Sheen Lomax actually. Sheen Lomax, who's felt the effects of that heavy 3-man tackle, and he needs some treatment. Almost pushed play to halfway. It was a good kick and good defensive set so far from the Bushrangers. Gungahlin Bulls at the moment, 4 points to nil. Very good conditions, no breeze to speak of, sun shining, grandstand shadow starting to grow across the southern end of the ground. Sheen Lomax is back on his feet. Tucking a few big ones in. It was a fairly heavy knock. We got another player getting some treatment over here. I think that's Matt Fellows. And in fact, he'll come off, and Nick Mead will take the field. So Fellows requiring some further treatment, and Nick Mead, fairly speedy customer, comes on for the Bulls. So Lomax is waiting for the whistle to blow to play the ball. And that has happened now. So the Bulls push it to halfway. Getting up is Hately. Plays it back. It's a nice little kick there from Grocott. Goes back across behind the winger on the far side, who really has to scurry back, and it's a good chase from the Bulls. So Jaden Pollard will play it at 15 metres out from his own line. Ball comes back to Eldridge. Gets involved. There's good fullbacks too early in the tackle count, letting the forwards get back and catch their breath. Now there's a run from Jaden Thomas. And that's a good strong run too from Thomas. He pushes play 17 metres short of halfway. They go to the far side of the ground through Alexander. Ducked under one tackle, got the ball away. Now they've got some open spaces, the Bushrangers. That's their winger in Pollard. He gives it onto the centre, Lowe, and Lowe's raced away to score. So good stuff. Tuggeranong Bushrangers have levelled the scores up at 4-4. With a 60-metre try that went through 4 or 5 sets of hands. The defence just, once that gap opened up, the support play from Tuggeranong Bushrangers was good, and the Bulls were scattered, and they had no answers. And in the end, it was Narima Lowe who scored the try. So David Howe was the first try scorer of the match for the Gungahlin Bulls. The conversion was unsuccessful. That had the Bulls at 4-0. And now Tuggeranong Bushrangers, who lead the competition, after 20 minutes of play, have come up with their first try to level things up at 4-4. Kick from 13 or 14 metres in from the eastern side touchline. Has a good look at it. Takes his time. Wants to put his side in front. He strikes it nicely. Flags go up. And the Bushrangers have put their nose in front. 6 points to 4. Tuggeranong Bushrangers now lead the way over the Gungahlin Bulls. A conversion from Josh Mitchell. Now the Bulls to restart play through Robinson. And down to Eldridge. Got it away to Jacob McGrath. Take that first hit up. And the Bushrangers probe up towards the 30 after a couple of runs. Mason, that one was. Now Matthew Dragosick is on the field. He played the ball. Ball goes across to Baker. Josh Baker is looking to unload. He's had to take the tackle. That ball looked forward to Matthew Dragosick. And the referee, no doubt, got a call from his linesman, and that's the way he has ruled. So a scrum will pack, and the Gungahlin Bulls will get the scrum feed. We have a Bulls player receiving some treatment. It's an ankle problem. He's in a bit of pain. That'll be Jacob Sturt. A lot of these players are very new to me. But I don't know that he'll be able to go on, Jacob Sturt. Well, he's limping heavily. He's being assisted to the sideline, so left ankle is the problem. Matt Fellows is warming up on the sideline and now makes his way onto the field. So Sturt, I don't know if he'll be back. He's limping very heavily on that left leg, and it appears to be the ankle. So the Bulls with the scrum feed, 5 short of halfway. So field position is fairly handy to start a set from halfway. They'll get away to Aylott, and Dean Aylott crosses the halfway line on the first tackle. Nick Mead goes into dummy half. And there's a good strong run. So the Bulls take play now. 14 metres over halfway into the Bushrangers territory. That run came from Pettit. They'll keep pushing it across. Up the centre through Cody Smith. They'll look through Mead. Got it to Howe. Howe flicked it back inside. Mead had to scoop up a loose ball. Misguided pass. Couldn't get a quick play the ball. Ball comes back for Smith in the headgear. Cody Smith, centre of the ground. This is the last tackle, 20 metres out. Ball comes to Grocott. Oh, a rebound. And Haitley might score here. Yeah, I think he has. The ball did pop out. The ball popped out. This could go either way. Will the Bulls take the lead? The referee asking the linesman what he saw. I think he may have grounded it before it popped up, but it's touch and go. We've got a try. Has been awarded. So Dean Haitley. And that one was a ricochet. The kick bouncing off a Tuggeranong Bushranger player. And came back to the Bulls, and Haitley did a great job because 3 men tried to stop him. But he's put his side in front. 8 points to 6. Gungahlin Bulls 8 with a kick to come. Tuggeranong Bushrangers are on 6. 15 minutes to go before the break. It's been a good game of football so far, very competitive from both sides. So the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, heavy favourites to win this match when you look at the competition standings on the competition ladder. I've certainly learned here in the first 25 minutes of play that they have got a game on their hands. The Bulls have turned up very enthusiastic this afternoon. Blake Robinson to attempt the conversion. Looks like it's okay. Yep. It was fading away to the left, but just got inside the goalpost, the left-hand side goalpost or the right-hand side, depending which way you're standing. So that takes the score now out to 10 points to 6. The kickoff from the Bushrangers. Taken by Howe. Howe almost broke through. Robinson. Got the ball away there. Cody Smith. They work to the left. Mead. Mead got half a gap. The close down of the tackle from O'Malvini. Haitley up the centre. He's crossed halfway. He's carrying players and he pops one up. So the Bulls get the chance, or they had a chance then to move it. They may have had the numbers, but Robinson will play it. 10 metres into the side of the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Comes away to Grocott. Grocott will play it 30 metres out. Nick Mead playing at dummy half now. There's a little chip through from Pettit. It's not overly effective. And the Bushrangers, Michael Brophy was the man who dived on the ball. So they go across field, the Bushrangers, centre of the ground, about 30 metres out from their own line. Brent Neal plays it. They go that far side where Alexander trying to set things up, the probing 5'8" for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. They'll come back to the centre of the ground. Josh Baker, wearing the black tape around the head, will play it. Now they're going to run it. Oh, but a poor pass has gone to ground, but the referee rules it went back. They're away. Down goes Malvini. He kicks back inside for support play, and they'll come up with the try. That'll be a try. I think Matthew Dragosic was the man backing up back infield and has put the ball down. And the referee awards the try. So we're locked up again at 10 points all. It's just been confirmed over the loudspeaker. It was Matthew Dragosic who beat that final tackle. I think Todd Sherd desperately trying to stop him, but Dragosic has come up with the try. And now the Bushrangers have the chance to put their nose back into front. This kick is not an overly difficult one. We've got 11 minutes until half time. It's 10 all. Josh Mitchell has had the one kick this afternoon, the number 9 for the Bushrangers, and it was an impressive kick from the other side of the ground. He was about 12 metres in from touch and he struck it beautifully. This one a little bit easier. About 14 or 15 metres to the right of the goal post. He took a lot of time with his first kick, but it's probably his style. He's got his own unique style, a little dance on the spot. Head goes down, body leans forward. Thinks about it, a step back and says, yeah, I'm ready to kick this, and a beautiful kick again. He swung that ball from left to right like it was a soccer ball. So the Tuggeranong Bushrangers go to the lead, 12 points to 10. And that's two attempts from Josh Mitchell, the goal kicker for the Bushrangers. Has struck both of them beautifully. Nuggety little fellow, and he's having a good first half hour of football. Not only his kicking, but his general play. So the Bulls are going to restart play. Blake Robinson just wanted the little gap, the place on the ground to place the ball on. Make his job a lot easier. Very pleasant winter's afternoon here at Gungahlin enclosed oval. Eldridge, he takes the kick off and sends one of his forwards into the fray in Brent Neal. This time Matthew Dragosic, the try scorer. Now they'll work at a crossfield, and breaking tackles is Alexander, who's looking to link up. He's a nuggety fellow, Alexander. Strongly built, not overly tall, and he's gone over the top of one of the Gungahlin Bulls players who has remained down to receive some treatment. We've had a fair bit of time off with injuries in this first half, but nothing too serious. But the Bulls have been knocked around a bit. They did lose Jacob Sturt, and I don't know that Jacob will be back because he was limping heavily with an ankle problem. Right, now Radaraja is okay. That's the good news. He's taken his place back in the defensive line of the Gungahlin Bulls. Now the ball comes away to Lowe. Scored an earlier try. Now we've got a penalty to the Bushrangers. I think he's ruling there that Cody Smith might have just crept up a little bit high in the tackle. Good kick for touch. Bushrangers will set off this penalty 40 metres out. Alexander gives it on to Pollard. Oh no, rather that's Brent Neal. Pardon me. Now Mitchell. And the run round, and Mitchell gets it back. Linked up with Brophy. Brophy's about 30 metres out from the Bulls line. A long ball back across there to Ben Nanisa. Nanisa, big fellow. He brought down the centre of the ground. Mitchell from dummy half is probing. He looked for a couple of decoy runners. He was wanting to go himself, but they've picked him off. And they'll go back across to the left to Alexander. He gets through Howe's tackle. He gets it onto his winger. Football was forward. I think between Lowe to Pollard, the ball was ruled forward. So the try disallowed. The score remains 12 points to the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, 10 to the Gungahlin Bulls. Scrum a little bit slow to pack. Boys catching their breath 7 minutes before half time. Been a good game of football. 12-10 Bushrangers have got that 2-point lead over the Bulls. 2 tries each so far in the match. Dean Aylott from the Bulls, the winger, comes in to do a bit of the hard early work. Bulls keep probing away. Dylan Hately run towards the centre of the ground. He's about 15 short of halfway when they go for the kick. Hoping for 40-20, but it's not going to have the legs. And back there was Eldridge. Now the winger Pollard has a run. Jaden Pollard takes play 20 short of halfway for his team. Back for Lowe. Cody Smith underneath him. Mitchell, dummy half. Gave it away to Michael Brophy. Brophy's tackled 10 metres short of the halfway. Mitchell gives away to Eldridge. Oh, there's a nice hit from Alex Pettit. Boy, gee. Stopped the bushranger in his tracks in Jordan Martin. A good hit from Pettit. So the kick downfield goes to Todd Sherd, the fullback for the Bulls. He's able to get about 15 metres out from his own line in the first tackle. Dean Aylott has a run. Bulls with the ball. Centre of the ground. I think it's James Payot who's getting to his feet very slowly. Ratujan Preo, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Skid ball has a run. There'll be a penalty there, and there will be. He was getting to his feet, and he had his ankle pulled, landed back on the ground, just trying to slow the play down to let his teammates get their defensive line set. Was the Tuggeranong Bushranger player, and the referee had no hesitation. Well, he had to give a penalty in that situation. And that means the Bulls will surely find touch here and put themselves in a good field position to start this set. Kick for touch is a beauty. It's just managed to miss me. So they've crossed halfway, and with the ball, Grocott took the tap, brought one of his forwards up. Now Robinson gives it away to Mead, to Howe, to Sherd. And finally, Radharadra will play it. They keep pushing on that far side of the ground through Sheen Lomax. And they've picked up another penalty, the Bulls. I think they'll stay on the attack. They're 2 points behind. There's 4 minutes till half time. Yeah, they'll stay on the attack all right. So Robinson kicks it over the sideline. Radharadra will take the tap. Give it on to Cody Smith. Ball comes back for Mead. Mead. They keep coming across the backline. Or Pettit couldn't pick up that pass. And so it's going to be a knock on both ways. And the first one, I think, will come from the Bulls. So a scrum will pack and the feed will go to the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. They've let themselves down there. That was looking promising, their backline move, but one pass that didn't find its mark ended everything in a hurry. Brophy feeds the scrum. Gets it out to Lowe. Now Brent Neal. Mitchell dummy half. Ball away to Josh Baker. Played back for Mitchell. He runs from dummy half. Shows the dummy, Mitchell. Goes straight through them. Now he needs support. He lobs one over the top and it finds its mark. And Malvini, he put it back inside for Mason. Mason off his right. Beats a tackle. Lost his footing. He's back up now and he's brought down. So the Bulls have really had to scramble, but they've managed to stop the Bushrangers. Now Mitchell goes the blind side. He didn't really have the numbers there. They were all lined out his team to the left. So this will be the last. Ball's played back for Martin. He throws a long ball to Brophy. He gets it away to Eldridge. The kick through is going to be too deep. So what looked very promising for the Bushrangers has just missed its mark, with the Bulls really under heavy pressure, but they managed to get back and control the situation. And with that grubber kick going too long, means the Bulls will get 7 tackles off their 20-metre line, and with a player down injured, it'll also give them a chance to get their breath. They've got 1 minute 30 seconds left on the clock. They're down by 2 points. It is the Tuggeranong Bushrangers 12, Gungahlin Bulls 10. So they did well there just before half-time to hold out the Bushrangers. It was a wonderful run by Dummy and run by Josh Mitchell, which set up the play, but unfortunately they just couldn't finish it off. Bulls with the ball. About 20 metres short of halfway. Dean Aylott, the winger, likes to get in and get involved. Good to see from a winger. Robinson passed it away to Hately, found support on his outside in Smith. He's going to play it short of halfway. This time Hately gives it away to Howell. He beat one tackle, looking for support. They surround him though. David Howell makes it over halfway, the former Raider, doing a good job here this afternoon. I don't know how long since he's played a game of football. He's their coach. Now there's the kick from Grocrott. Goes down to Connor Mason. He had a bit of a juggle. He's a slippery fellow. He beats one, but Mead's got him. And then Radu Jean-Pierre comes in to help, and they wrestle him back. But they've wrestled him back too long, and the referees had to call a halt to play. And now a few players have rushed in with a bit of frustration. Well, the Bushrangers were frustrated that they kept forcing their player backwards when he should have been required to play the ball, but the Bull players rushed in then to make sure that the numbers there were level. I will have a penalty here, I'm certain, to the Bushrangers. You've heard the siren in the background. It is 12 points to 10 in favour of the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. The siren is for half-time. Both the linesmen have come in to voice their opinion. The referee is listening. And he's going to have a chat to Hately, Dylan Hately, the captain. And now Ratu Jean-Pierre has been called up. And he looks like will be the main offender. There were 2 in the tackle. And they're having a long meeting to discuss this. No doubt there'll be a penalty. 1 play, and they'll be headed to the dressing sheds. That is well thoroughly explained by the referee. Very thorough. Dean Haitley asks a couple of questions. And the penalty goes to the Bushrangers after all of that. So Mitchell kicks for touch. And it won't find it. So the Bulls... Oh, he has found touch now. Or maybe the Bulls player put his foot on the sideline after he caught it. It's the most likely thing that happened. So the boys are heading to the shed after an entertaining first 40 minutes where the Tuggeranong Bushrangers leading by 12 points to 10 over the Gungahlin Bulls in very good conditions here at Gungahlin enclosed oval in this Raiders Cup match. So the sides take the paddock for this second half at Gungahlin enclosed oval. It is the Bulls and the Bushrangers. The Tuggeranong Bushrangers at the moment lead the way 12 points to 10. Tries to Narima Low. I was just trying to think who scored. Their other one was Dragosick. Matthew Dragosick scored a try. Both converted in great fashion. But Josh Mitchell has their 12 points. Gungahlin Bulls, David Howe, he scored the first try of the match. The 35-year-old former Canberra Raider hasn't played for about 3 years now. But with all the injuries, has taken the side, and Dylan Haitley scored their other try. One conversion from Blake Robinson has their 10 points. Play back underway. So Lomax to play it in the first hit-up. The Bulls with the ball go across through Mead to Smith. Cody Smith brought down 15 short of halfway. Well, took a while to wrestle him to the ground, but they got him there in the end. So the Bulls putting up a good showing against the competition leaders, the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. Bulls have won 2 games this season. They've knocked off a couple of sides in the top 5, top 4 or 5, and their first half display was good. There's a chance here. Matt Fellows, who's had a good game, has tackled just over halfway. The little chip through from Robinson, another kick from Mead, and a little knock on from Eldridge when he was trying to pick up the ball has given the Bulls the field position. 20 metres out, scrum feed. This is the area that probably let the Bulls down the last time I called them a fortnight ago. When they'd get inside this danger zone, they wouldn't complete their set. Their hands would let them down. They've been better in that area this afternoon. Scrum's going to pack. Mead comes out with it, gives it to Howe. Howe gives a short ball to Sheen Lomax. Lomax always runs hard. He's only brought in about 12 metres out. Back for Cody Smith, who's been very busy. Being brought down by Matthew Dragosick. They'll come to this right side. Howe will try to cut out ball. Didn't quite work. Radu Radra was crunched. It was well read. They come back through Robinson and Grocott, Mead. They don't go anywhere. So Bushrangers defence after, I think that's 4 tackles, has been solid. This time Robinson, a ball to Lomax. Lomax tried to charge under the gap. Alexander came up with a good hit on him. And Lomax is injured. He's lost the ball. I think he might have been knocked out in that tackle, and now he's okay. He's getting to his feet. Gee, charged at the gap, the big man, Sheen Lomax. And Alexander is a very stocky, solid 5'8" for the Bushrangers, and he had support too from a couple of his mates. They had to close in, and they had to close in hard to crunch him just 2 metres before the try line, which would have seen the Bulls wrestle back the lead. There's certainly Sheen Lomax, they're just testing him for the concussion. Oh, he's going to stay on. So 2 metres shy of the line, and I think he was charging at that line. He had his eyes on it. He thought, I'm going to get this. It was a wonderful tackle. David Howe, he goes dummy half. He tries a little grubber kick, which gets no result, and the Rima Low has just dived on the ball for the Bushrangers. So the Bulls now are rushing up in defence to try and keep the Bushrangers pinned on their own line. Mitchell at dummy half. He gets it away to McGrath. Mitchell this time to Josh Baker. And there's a penalty. And they were rushing up, and that's always a danger when you're rushing up the Bulls side to try and pin the Bushrangers in their own area. It only takes one fellow to be in front of the referee, and suddenly you've lost all your momentum, which has happened now. Bushrangers don't find many metres in that kick for touch. But they'll take the tap, and now they'll just force their way towards halfway through their forwards. Nathan Smith took the first hit up. Brent Neal the second. McGrath almost finds halfway. So the forwards have done a good job here, the Bushrangers, charging it down the field. Matthew Dragosick, he takes play 38 metres out from the Bulls line. Mitchell gets up, runs across, uses a decoy runner, got it to Brophy, got one over the top on the far side. They're just running out of room now. This winger is going great guns. Mason, he came back in field. He got the pass from O'Malvini. Now comes back for Eldridge, gives it on to Brophy, lobs a long ball to Dragosick. Dragosick, the winger came off his line. He got inside him. They keep it alive. Comes back to Eldridge. He kicks, and the Bulls clean it up. So what was looking promising has been tidied up by Dylan Haitley from the Bulls. So they've scrambled well this afternoon, the Bulls, because the Bushrangers certainly tested their line out there with some good play. Now that's Grinold's on the field in number 18 for his first introduction to the match. Bulls go across field, and the winger going great guns out here. Ratu Jampio, he almost got past his man to get into the open. Sheen Lomax with a powerful run. That's their fifth. They've got across halfway. So David Howe's just going to kick for touch, and it's a good one too. Finds touch 11 metres out from the Bushrangers line. So that means that the Bulls, who had to defend desperately at the other end of the field, and then bustle their way back down. They got a good kick from their coach, and he'll be captain as well this afternoon, I would imagine. Playing his first game for about 3 years. Now, Sheen Lomax is getting some more attention. I think he's still recovering. He's had a couple of heavy knocks. He's played the game hard, and the referee has called timeout. There is concerns that he may have been suffering some concussion. Ryan Linu's warming up on the sideline. Lomax, he wants to play on. They've got a little bit of concern for him. So play just coming to a halt. Now they've convinced Sheen Lomax to take a spell. The trainers. So Ryan Lean will come into the team. So the Bushrangers from the scrum win, centre of the ground. And Mitchell, the dummy half, pushes one of his forwards to the right side of the field. And they continue that way through Eldridge. He's looking to try and open up and work with his winger. Mitchell brings it back for Brent Neal. Neal hits the line hard. Robinson there in the tackle with Haitley. Kick downfield. It goes to Todd Sherd, 10 metres out from his own line. And Sherd meets a wall of defenders and a strong tackle from Mitchell, Josh Mitchell. Grinold with a run for the Gungahlin Bulls. Score is 12 points to 10. Tuggeranong Bushrangers leading the way. We've had 7 minutes play in this second half. Now Mead is very slow to his feet. He finally got there. The Bulls probe it. towards halfway. Hately to play it. Robinson gives it on to Skidmore. Luke Skidmore finds 5 metres over halfway in the 5th tackle. Robinson fires a long ball to Grocott. And he puts it high in the air, and the chasers are charging through. But it's well taken by the Bushrangers. Their winger on that far side is Connor Mason, and he did a good job. He got underneath it and took it cleanly. Eldridge has a run, and it's going to be a slow play, the ball. And finally the penalty comes. So a couple of times now, Gungahlin guilty of defensive mistakes that lets the Bushrangers come out of their own end a bit cheaply a bit. Unfortunately, Josh Mitchell only found about 5 metres with that kick for touch. Came off the side of the boot. Really didn't go anywhere. Bushrangers, they're about 15 short of halfway. Dragasic. 4 metres before the halfway line. Mitchell, dummy half. Cut-out ball. Found Brent Neal, who's charged it up. 42 out from the Bulls' line. Mitchell fires it out to Brophy. Eldridge. Well, there's a flick ball that surely went forward. Came from Malvini. Went to his winger Mason. It was a tricky one. But he got away with it. Back for Brophy. Ball back on the inside for Baker. Baker straightens things up. And he wrestles in the tackle. Before he finally get brought down by Mead. Now back for Brophy. Fires a long, beautiful ball out to the winger. They'll score in the corner. Went to Lowe, the centre first. And Lowe then got it on to Jaden Pollard. Pollard has scored in the corner. It was a lovely long ball that found the mark to Lowe. Lowe timed his pass lovely to Pollard. And the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, 16 now, over Gungahlin Bulls on 10. Another difficult kick coming up for Josh Mitchell. This is his hardest of the afternoon. The other two came off the boot beautifully. They weren't easy ones, but he certainly wasn't on the sideline as he is for this one. So 16 points to 10, and the Bushrangers had to work hard. And I think the Bulls a couple of times guilty of that mistake. Players, a couple of their forwards held the Bushranger player down in the tackle back on their own 20, 25 metre mark, and that gave them a kick for touch and a fresh set. And that fresh set has been a good one. So here he is to keep his 100% record intact this afternoon. Josh Mitchell has had a terrific game, but that one has got away to the left. So it remains at 16 points to 10. He's kicked 2 from 3. Their dummy half, who's had a very busy and enterprising game, looks to get out of dummy half and run to his men. Put the defence in 2 minds. So 16-10 is the scoreline. It's the first time a side in this match has been able to forge to a 6-point lead. I think 4 points has been the biggest leading margin to date. So the Bushrangers now will be feeling fairly confident. They sit on top of the ladder of the Raiders Cup. The Bulls towards the bottom, only a couple of wins, but they've put a terrific show on here this afternoon for their fans. So in 18, Ben Nanisa had brought it out in the first hit up, Dragasic the second. Back for Mitchell. Mitchell picks up an extra 10 metres. So he's 10 short of halfway. Alexander, he throws one wide. And taking the tackle, Josh Baker, right on halfway. Now Mitchell comes back. This time Brent Neal again. And Mitchell back for Michael Brophy. He puts up a high kick. Oh, it's a good kick too. Two Gungahlin players went for it and collided. Oh, and the Gungahlin player has been driven back 10 metres. It's their winger, Dean Aylott. Never seen a player driven back that far, but there was miscommunication from the two Bulls players, between Sherd and Aylott, when they went to get underneath that kick. It was a terrific kick, Michael Brophy. It was high. It gave the chasers good timing to tackle the player, Aylott, who did a great job to get up high and take a difficult kick. But, of course, with the players from the Bushrangers charging through, it was easy meat to drive back into the in-goal area. So from the line drop out, the Bushrangers will start this set about 30 metres out in great position. Anissa, centre of the ground, 30 metres out. Mitchell gives it away. I think that might be McGrath. In fact, it was Brent Neal. He gets through a lot of work. Brophy looking for a cutout ball. He uses a palm. He comes back in field. So now they're in the centre of the ground. Ball comes away for Josh Baker, who runs it hard. And he had his leg pulled out from under him. That's three mistakes in defence in a row from the Bulls, which has put their unnecessary mistakes, and it's put a lot of pressure on themselves. They'll think about taking the two here. They're 6 in front, but they want to go 8 clear or keep the pressure on. They'll keep the pressure on. So Bushrangers through Baker. Now Mitchell to Brophy. Throws a long ball to Eldridge. Tries to hold it up. He's got away from one tackle. Got it on to Malvini. Eldridge from dummy half. He's over the line. Does he get that ball down? No. Referee rules he's held up. Held up, so he'd come back out and play the ball 10 metres out. Bushrangers with a big chance here. They decided not to take the two, which was a gift too. Go for the try. Brent Neal, 8 metres out. Mitchell to Baker. And a beautiful ball back on the inside from Baker to Ben Nanisa. And Nanisa has crashed over to score, so the right decision to refuse the gift 2 points and go for the try. And in a set move, Josh Baker sends a ball back on the inside to a flying Ben Nanisa. And he crashes over. He was just unstoppable. Tuggeranong Bushrangers hit 20 points. Gungahlin Bulls on 10. It's been their mistakes in defence which has really put their team under pressure. And when I say in defence, just hanging on too long in the tackle. There was one offside penalty, and those 3 penalties have given good field position to the Bushrangers. They've executed things very well from there. They've come up with a couple of tries in the last 10 minutes. Still got 24 minutes of play left as Josh Mitchell gets a much easier attempt this time. He goes through his preparation routine. Little dance. That's over. Step back. In he comes. And he kicks that one with no problem. So 22 points to 10. The Tuggeranong Bushrangers lead the way. 3 from 4 in the goal department for Josh Mitchell, the number 9 for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. So the Bulls with a lot of work to do now. Kick off from Robinson is high. It's down 15 metres out. Brent Neal, I think it was, took that first run. So Bushrangers just try to surge off their own line. Their winger, Mason, came in to help out his forwards. Ball goes across to Alexander. Had a nice step off his left. He couldn't break the line, and David Howe ends up slamming him into the ground, and Alexander doesn't like it. And it has got very messy. It's got very messy. The referees had to come in and take control here. And there was words said, I think, by the big man, Luke Skidmore. That's why I don't know why else he'd call out Skidmore. He's talking to Dylan Haitley, who's usually the captain of the Gungahlin Bulls. So the penalty finally goes to Tuggeranong, and that was an interesting one. Can only imagine Luke Skidmore had something too much to say. The crowd laughing at something. The ball went into the crowd. So the Bushrangers, this game getting a little bit tough and fiery as Nanisa came up with a big hit. Well, a big run, I should say. It's the man who scored that last try. But a mistake from the Bushrangers, meaning the Bulls will get field position close to halfway, and they desperately need that. I think still 22 minutes left on the clock, but the Bulls need to be next to score, being down by 22 points to 10, and they haven't really shown the attacking skills in this second half to bridge a gap like that. So they need to click into gear. David Howe, their coach, playing his first game in a while, feeds the scrum, comes away for Alex Pettit. Pettit's brought down just short of halfway. Mead, it's up. He gives it on to Luke Skidmore. Skidmore getting the big legs pumping. Brought down by Matthew Dragosick. Mead, away to Howe. Holds it up. Gave it to Lomax. Alexander coming over the top. Ball goes back to Howe. Good ball away to Jean-Pierre. He's away down the sideline. One to beat, and he's in. Beautiful run. Ratu Jean-Pierre off a beautiful David Howe over the top pass. The winger still had a lot of work to do, but he beat player after player and scores in the corner. Great finish. Great finish. And that's what the Gungahlin Bulls desperately needed to get their motor running in this second half. That brings it back to 22-14. Kick's a difficult one from the sideline. David Howlett, well, they did well to keep that ball alive. A couple of times they looked dead, and they kept it alive, and then David Howe popped one over the top, which gave his winger Ratu Jean-Pierre a little bit of room, not a great deal of room. He had to beat a couple of players, and then he was confronted with Eldridge, the fullback, and he managed to crash over and score. So certainly keeps the game alive. 20 minutes to go. So Blake Robinson from the sideline. And he strikes that one, and it's gone away. So the score remains at 22 points to 14. It was a difficult one for Blake Robinson. It had a fair bit of swing on it. You could see it going away to the left. Not by much, but it's just it missed. So we're still got a 8-point ball game. The lead with the Bushrangers. Josh Mitchell goes with a short kick-off. And the Bulls have no problem with it. So Pettit gets to his feet to play it. Go through Smith on the far side. Oh, there might be a steal there. Was there a steal? What's the referee going to rule? Well, it looked like a clean strip to me. The linesman's only a couple of metres away, so the referee, who's a lot further away, will check with the linesman on whether this was a clean strip and the Bushrangers will get the ball, or whether there was a knock-on from the Bulls, or if there's no strip, the Bulls keep the ball. And it's a penalty to the Bushrangers. And I think that's because it was a clean strip, and then it was stripped out of the Bushrangers player when the Bushranger player should have been allowed to play the ball. I'm pretty certain they got that ruling right. And Malvini takes the tap, gives it on to one of his forwards who's dropped it. Oh dear, Jaden Thomas. He hit the ground pretty hard and he lost control of the ball. So Bushrangers, great field position, really had an opportunity that set to probably start to close this game down. Had a mistake. We'll see the Bulls feed this scrum about 15 to 20 metres out from their own line. Take your choice of those lines. Which one's which? Lines everywhere. Nick Mead, he feeds the scrum. They're going to kick. This is a good move because Aylot's bolting downfield. Aylot winning the race. Lowe's trying to get to him. Aylot gets the ball and Aylot will go underneath the post. Oh, that's a sensational try. Oh, it's been called back. He's called Aylot offside, has he? Well, Lowe's down injured. He made the diving attempt to tackle. Unless, what's he called here, the referee? I don't know what was wrong with it. Well, if he was offside, the penalty would be well downfield. So where is the infringement actually happened? So maybe a Bull player has interfered with a Bushranger. Don't know. So Narima Lowe's getting attention. He was the man who tried to stop Dean Aylott from going underneath the post. So I'm totally confused what the referees ruled here, but it looks like the Bulls are going to get the ball. They're going to have it 25 metres out. Narima Lowe's to his feet. He's got a sore leg, limping heavily on the left leg. Well, now the ball has gone back to Alexander from the Bushrangers. And that's about the spot where Dean Aylott got the ball. So they get a penalty. So I'm guessing he's ruled Dean Aylott offside. It looked okay. It was a great kick. I think it was from Robinson when he saw there was no fullback at home. So anyway, Bushrangers are off the hook on that occasion. They've got the ball. And Malvini giving it away there to Thomas. And Malvini going in playing dummy half. This time gives it away to McGrath. Juggled there by Thomas. Gets it on to Mitchell. Mitchell's wrestled down by Skidmore. 10 metres in Gungahlin Bulls territory. Ball to Dragosic. Dragosic holds it out. Trying to put the opposition in two minds. It was a good tackle by Lomax. And Malvini fires a long ball out to Mitchell. And he puts up the bomb. The bomb, oh, beautifully taken and flicked out the back. They'll score. That was Jordan Martin, I'm pretty certain. Jordan Martin, who went up high on the gallop and caught it. He hit the ground, but he wasn't held, so he was entitled to flick it out the back. There's a protest from the Bulls players, but I couldn't see any problem with it. So the winger, Connor Mason, just had to catch the ball and put it down. And that's 26 points to 14. Bushrangers over the Gungahlin Bulls. Well, what a turn of the match that was. The Bulls being disallowed a try. And then the ball going to the Bushrangers, who have come up with points. So still 15 minutes to go in the game, but the Bushrangers, you get the feeling, are now starting to close this out. Dylan Hately is up having quite a chat to the referee. He would be feeling gutted that they've missed a try at the other end, which would have brought them right back into it. Possibly 2 points behind. Instead, they're behind their own goal line and they're down 26-14. So a big change in the match in that last 2 minutes. Josh Mitchell has the ball placed. An easy one, the way Josh Mitchell's been kicking this afternoon. He's put his team 14 in front. With 14 minutes to go, he's missed it. So he missed an opportunity there to get that 14-point buffer. So 26-14 the score. And if there's any hope, well, there would be hope in these Gungahlin Bulls players. They know they don't have to score 3 tries at this stage. 2 converted would level it back up, but that's not going to be an easy assignment. So the restart of play from the Bulls. The Bushrangers working it out. Nathan Smith took the first hit up. Front rower Jaden Thomas in a wrestling match has lost the ball. Nick Mead and Hately were in there. And he's ruled he lost it in the wrestling match. So the other player who was in there, well, it's number 12, but that's Matt Fellows. So it was a good effort from the Bulls, and it gives them an opportunity. A big opportunity. 25 out. They need a good set here. Comes away to David Howell. He goes across field. There was nothing on. And now there's a penalty for attempted strip of the ball. So the Bulls still in the same position. They've got 6 tackles. And they need desperately 6 points. Lomax charges it up the centre. Takes some stopping. There was 3 players in there. They were in there too long. He says to Josh Baker, you're over the top. Tackle was called. So another penalty. So play going slow. They're not getting any great advantage, the Bulls, because it keeps happening on the first tackle. Luke Skidmore tries to barge over. 3 metres out. Plays it to Mead. Long ball to Grocott. Almost broke the tackle of Jacob McGrath, but McGrath clung on. Ball away. Long ball goes to the fullback, Todd Sherd. The defence rushed up. A fellow sends one to the left. Ball goes to ground. It's dived on by Dean Aylott. Still a couple of metres out the Bulls. Desperate for a try. Back to Haitley. Haitley just takes the defence on. 6 metres from the line. Bushrangers' defence has been good. Mead goes back to the left. Held up by Grocott. Over the line. Over the line. He won't be able to get that ball down. He'll be called held up. He'll have to come out 10 metres. So the Bulls have been on the line here for some time and they just can't crack the defence. Haitley holds it up for Howe. Howe looking and probing. Alexander, who's been strong this afternoon, was a great tackle. Mead, Lomax, charges up the centre. Gets a quick play the ball. Mead to Howe, bad ball to Howe. Howe had to dive out and scoop the ball in. That broke the momentum. He had 2 men on his outside. Mead. Now he fires one long ball back there to Haitley. And, they've got it away here. They'll score. They will score through Matt Fellows. Good stuff from the Bulls. Bushrangers' defence had been so game. They held on. But eventually the Bulls found a way over through Matt Fellows. So 26-18, Tuggeranong Bushrangers lead the way over the Gungahlin Bulls. And this kick is very important. 9 minutes, 36 seconds left on the clock. And he needs to kick this to bring it back within 6 points. So the Gungahlin Bulls have had tries, a great try to Ratu Jampio, the winger. David Howe, he scored the first try of the match. Dylan Haitley picked up a great try, and Matt Fellows has now added his name to their scoring list. Conversion looks good. There it is, 20. Let's open the game up. Let's open the game up now. 26 points to 20. This is a whole different ball game. We have 8 minutes 34 left on the clock. So the kickoff goes down to the Bulls. They know this game is still within their reach now with that 6-pointer on the board. Bringing it back to just the 6. Luke Skidmore up the middle. Takes play out to the 30. Mead shows it one way. Gives it back the other. Haitley plays it. Comes to David Howe, one in the inside to Lomax, over the top of one bloke, another barnstorming run to the halfway. Oh, needs a sloppy play, the ball, referee lets it go. Howe looking for an inside player, and he's picked one up, and it's Lean, he beats one, he looks for support, he's brought down about 11 metres out from the line. It's the Bulls on the attack, and it's Mead, fires it out to Grocott, Haitley, and a long ball away to the second rower on the far side, and he'll just be brought down, Alex Pettit. That ball came from Matt Fellows to Pettit, and they're just centimetres short. Now, there's got to be a penalty. Eldridge virtually tackled the dummy half before he'd even picked the ball up. You can't go into the ruck that quickly. So Bulls with a wonderful opportunity now. They've got a full set on the Bushrangers line to try and level things up. 26 points, the Bushrangers, 20 to the Bulls. Haitley, the captain, he steps off the right and he takes the first tackle. Now Mead gives it to Skidmore. Skidmore for the line, the big man. He's about a metre shy. Mead gives it away to Howe. Flicks a ball back on the inside. And I reckon that's try time. I think that was Smith who went over. Fellows. Was Matt Fellows. That's his second try. Wow, what a finish we've got now. Beautiful inside ball. Came back in from Howe. So how important is this conversion? The score at 26 to the Bushrangers, 24 to the Gungahlin Bulls. 5 minutes 35 on the clock is all that remains as the shadows have cast right across Gungahlin enclosed oval. It's been a great game of football. So, Dylan Haitley has the pressure job. Oh, he's missed. It's gone away to the right. Didn't come off the boot nicely at all. Still 5 minutes left on the clock. Just didn't come off the boot right at all. Went away to the right of the post. So the Bushrangers are just walking back up. They are in no rush. They know all the momentum at the moment is with the Gungahlin Bulls, so they want to slow the game down, suck the big ones in, try and stop this momentum. So they're back to halfway for the kickoff, which will come from Josh Mitchell. We're set up for a big final 4.5 minutes of play. 2 points in it with the Bushrangers clinging on. Howe took the ball, gave it to Skidmore. And the Bulls take it out in their first tackle about 15 metres. Played back for Howe. They've got to keep their cool here, the Bulls, if they're going to cause the big upset. Nick Mead takes a tackle. Plays it back to Robinson. Gives it on to Haitley. They can't afford a mistake coming out of their own end. And now Robinson decides to put a boot in. He's looking for a 40-20. Out on the full. It was out on the full. So just as I said, they can't afford a mistake. They've come up with a terrible mistake. What was looking to be a beautiful kick. And there's no breeze that I can feel. And it was looking good, but it's just floated about 2 centimetres over the sideline. So the Bushrangers have the opportunity now to wrap this game up in this all-important set. 30 metres out from the Bulls line. So Baker, he plays it. McGrath took a run. Oh, in fact, it was Big Thomas. Now it's away with Mitchell. Oh, they've dropped the ball over there and it's gone forward. So the mistake early from the Bushrangers, tried to push the pass. Came up with the knock-on out wide. So that's a big letdown for the Tuggeranong Bushrangers. I thought they had the chance to seal the game in that set. So the Bulls will get the scrum feed. 2 minutes 50 left on the clock. So being 2 points behind, this could almost be the Bulls' last set. They need to make it a good one. David Howe's lost the ball. He was thinking of unloading, and it was a good tackle that hit him. And the Bushrangers have the ball. Now they can seal the match. Alexander, in this cliffhanger, takes a run from dummy half. And Malvini goes into dummy half. He got it onto Nanisa. They're in front of the post. They're 10 metres out. El Malvini gives it to Mitchell. Mitchell back across the field. Pushes out of one tackle. He's brought down. He's 5 metres from the line. Can the Bushrangers wrap things up? It's been a cliffhanger. Dragasic. Oh, he beat one tackle, 3 of them, dragging back. He's a half a metre from the line. And Malvini throws a ball out to a forward, trying to crash over the line. Defence is held up. So Bushrangers' last tackle. And Malvini, a long ball, goes to Mitchell. Mitchell kicks it across field. Beautifully taken on the far side by Aylott. Dean Aylott went above the pack and secured the ball. They've picked up a penalty. So the Bulls, what do we got on the clock? We've got 1 minute 30. 1:30. Surely this will be their last chance, their last set. So comes away for Fallows. Now the ball's back with Howe. Gives it on to Ryan Lean. They've got a big job in front of them, though, the Bulls. They've got to go down the paddock to score. Hately, he fires out a long ball, and they get the overlap on the far side. And A-Lot has to come back in field. The touchline was looming. They've got a couple of tackles up their sleeve, but the Bushrangers back in defence. It's Hately up the centre. 50 seconds left on the clock. They've got to somehow get a repeat set, the Bulls, if they're going to pull off a miracle. Chip over the top for Nick Mead racing through. He won't get there. And it's secured by the Bushrangers by, I think it was Dragasek. And that should be the match, ladies and gentlemen, with 32 seconds left on the clock. That was the last chance for the Gungahlin Bulls in this thriller to pull it off. 26-24, the Bushrangers leading the way, 19 seconds on the clock. And now Robinson goes for a one-on-one strip on Dragasek, but it's ruled not to have happened at 9 seconds. So this will be the last play. Alexander kicks for touch with 3 seconds, 2, 1, and they don't pack the scrum in time. They tried to rush in and pack the scrum, but they couldn't do it. That's a great game of football between the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, who are on top of the competition ladder, and one of the heavyweights to win the Raiders Cup on grand final day. Be well into one of the strong favourites, up against the young Gungahlin Bulls side, who were short on numbers, so short that David Howe, their 35-year-old coach, took the field. And it was a great game of football. 26 points to the Tuggeranong Bushrangers, 24 to the Gungahlin Bulls. And quite entertaining for a fairly healthy crowd here in this fairly fresh new grandstand at Gungahlin Enclosed Oval. So the boys shaking hands now. Game played in very good spirit. Refereeing and linesmen right on top of things, and certainly no problems with the display from the players, because they came up with a cracking game of football that went right till the dying seconds. Well, that's where I'll leave it from Gungahlin Enclosed Oval, where it's Tuggeranong Bushrangers 26 defeating Gungahlin Bulls 24.